Hello everyone, I'm Professor Geek. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have another title for you that is a non-Marvel, non-DC title. As you can see, this is Dark Horse, and you would think, of course, it's been pointed out by many, you would think that a Disney title would be published by Marvel, but I think Disney knows better. So they farmed a lot of these out, and Dark Horse is doing this one. And it's The Incredibles, as you can see. And not only The Incredibles, but The Incredibles 2. I don't really know why they titled it The Incredibles 2, because this is not just a retelling of the movie Incredibles 2. This is actually continued stories in that universe. So I don't know why they call it Incredibles 2, but you know, they're great. It's a great comic. This is the first two issues, so I wanted to go over them really quickly with you and review them and give you another non-Marvel DC option for your comic book pleasure. They have a lot of great variant covers too, I've noticed. I've always just picked up whichever one of the issue that looked the most interesting to me there in the shop. But the cool thing about this is it's on the kiddie aisle, kiddie rack, I guess, in my comic book shop. And you would kind of think maybe it is just like a little children's comic, but it's not really. I mean, it's safe for children. Of course, it's, you know, at children's level, they can read it and everything. But it's very much on par with the film. And you know how the films can, they're children's movies, but they're very much on a level to be enjoyed and really dug into by adults as well. So that's the same level of storytelling we have here. As you can see, the art's great. The art is very much in keeping with the films there. The stories, we have 3 stories in each issue thus far. Like I said, we've only had 2 issues out so far. The first issue, the first story, Crisis in Midlife, this is very much a story that you could develop into a film. It's on par with that level of storytelling like the films, and it takes on par. I just realized that. No pun intended, Bob and Helen Parr. Anyway, this takes place after the events of Incredibles 2. Obviously, superheroes are now legal once more. We have a lot of flashbacks, and this is a story in which Mr. Incredible finds out that he's no longer strong enough to lift this boat that he once did back in his glory days, so kind of like a midlife crisis going on, and he decides his way out of that is to really invest his time into his children as his legacy, and then the heroes they'll become, so he goes into training them. It's a great story. I won't spoil the whole thing there for you, and it continues into issue 2. So that's the one, well, that's one of the stories that continues over. We have a longer arc. The second story is about Mr. Incredible telling Jack a bedtime story, and then of course Dash and Violet listen in, and they want the real scoop and all of the details they left out. That story ends up being the story about how Bob and Helen met, or at least their first date, not really their meeting, but their first date. So that's a great one too. And then in the end of each issue, they have a very short little story of Jack. It'd be like the animated short or whatever, you know, as a special feature or whatever. And that one's, you know, just a short little cutesy thing, whatever. You know, it's a fun little way to cap the end. So, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first issue so much that I definitely picked up the second, and the second maintained the quality there. The art was great, and the story continues to develop and grow deeper, and you know, it's something that I would like to go through. It's these comic books that come out of films are always a little hit and miss, and you know, these, especially the Disney type comic books, you know, so the Mickey Mouse or DuckTales comic books, they're fine. They're great comics, but they tend to be for a really young readership, a really young audience, and you know, as you would expect, sure. But The Incredibles does have such an older adult following as well as children, so I like the fact that the comic books, you know, appeal to that. They you know, the story is safe for children, as I said, but it's you know, it's a fun story that an adult might like to follow as well. So yeah, good stuff. So yet another title out there. If you are an Incredibles fan, if you're not an Incredibles fan, these comics aren't going to sell you on the Incredibles by any means. So this is only if you are an Incredibles fan. If you enjoy the films, the comics are well worth your time picking up. And these are from Dark Horse. I think I forgot to read the credits. I was going to do that. I guess I showed it to you there. But Christos Gage, the stories for the 2 stories that continue over, and then Landry Q. Walker there for the little Jack story. Art by, Guhiru? I don't know. Haven't seen that name before. Maybe it's one that my viewers are familiar with, but then Jay Bone for the second story. And great stuff. So pick a cover you like, check it out. I'll be back tomorrow with some more reviews and talks and commentaries and so forth. But until then, keep enjoying and digging deeper into the hero stories you love. Thanks for watching.